So the boys over at Man vs. Street recently went to a conservative event with one question: will Republicans drink Bud Light? Now, I'm sure most of you guys know the answer to this question, and you're probably not wrong, but there is still a bunch to unpack from this video, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. But before we do, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Sorry for the lack of posts the last week or so. Was out of town, got sick, recovering right now. You guys get it. This video is sponsored by my good friends over at Native Path. Huge shout out to them. We'll talk about them a little bit more in a bit. And then lastly, this video is called Will Republicans Drink Bud Light from Man vs. Street? As always, link to the full video will be down in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in.
What do you think of Bud Light?
That's trash.
What would it take for you to drink a Bud Light?
I'd rather be punched in the face.
Do you drink Bud Light?
Oh, heck no.
Do you drink Bud Light?
No.
Hell no.
No, I wouldn't.
I mean, I'm not dating anyone who drinks Bud Light, that's for sure.
If I produced a Bud Light right now, would you drink it?
No, that's fluid.
Oh my gosh. So, still a lot of energy against Bud Light. You guys are probably thinking, I mean, how long did you kind of look at conservatives and think you guys couldn't boycott a lemonade stand? The Bud Light boycott is actually legit. Billions of dollars of lost market, revenue. I mean, an insanely effective boycott. There's a couple reasons for this, and throughout this video, we're going to talk about both those reasons that I believe is the leading cause for why this is such an effective boycott. But I guess not the most surprising responses at a conservative event. I'm sure most of you guys would agree. So before we move on, let's do a quick recap of the Bud Light boycott. So why did they do this? A lot of people know Dylan Mulvaney has something to do with it, or they know at least a decent amount about it. But let's kind of paint the picture here. We have Women's History Month. Wherever you look, it seemed as though awards are being given to transgender individuals, people that either claim to be transgender, men that are claiming to be women, and the American people are getting obviously sick and tired of it. You have a movement in the country that's basically saying that reality isn't reality, and the reality can be whatever we want it to be. Things don't quite work that way, but also celebrating a lifestyle that is affirming gender dysphoria, looking at a lifestyle saying, okay, this person turned themselves into a lifelong medical patient because they are experiencing gender dysphoria, go through puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, cutting into their bodies, and that's what we're going to uplift. It's very similar to the idea of affirming an anorexic girl saying, yes, darling, you are fat and you need to lose weight. You need to keep losing weight because what you believe is the truth. It's just as toxic as that. So you have a good portion of the population uplifting this very, very destructive ideology, radical gender theory, and people are sick and tired of it. So you have companies like Bud Light that tried to partner with Dylan Mulvaney, did 365 days of girlhood, had Dylan's face on the cans, saying congrats. By the way, Dylan Mulvaney basically identifies as a little girl, so that's what everybody's saying. This is so great. Or at the very least, a caricature of a female. And the American people decided to do something about it. So there we go. Bud Light boycott. Let's move on.
Put it in my body, I wouldn't put it in my truck, and I sure as heck wouldn't even give it to my dogs. It's less than water.
It's watered down cat piss.
It tastes, how should I put it delicately, like urine.
It tastes like pee. It just tastes like utter crap.
Okay, well, really quick. Why do all these people know what pee tastes like?
It's not very kosher.
We won't be drinking Anheuser-Busch, that I can tell you.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good impersonation, actually. It doesn't quite look like Trump, but it's not bad. Anyways, it tastes like pee. It's let's be honest, it's not good tasting beer. We get that. We'd probably have something better to say about it if it wasn't, if the brand wasn't bending a knee to the mob. We'd probably have, honestly, we would probably be actually saying better things. You don't need to taste that good to be a light beer. You're a party beer. We get that. But this is the response when you decide to bend a knee to the mob. This is the response that you're going to get. Your beer tastes bad? Fine, we'll let the world know about it. All right, everyone, let's take a few moments to talk about today's sponsor. Heart disease, blood clots, strokes, kidney failure. This can all be found on the back of an ibuprofen bottle. This is not a healthy solution to your pain. It's not only ineffective, it's expensive and downright dangerous, especially for seniors. That's why researchers are saying to add Antarctic super nutrient to your diet. Right now, you can go to stopmyinflammation.com/Klug to learn more and see your special offer for watching this video. I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids, but not just any form of omegas. These are omega-3 fatty acids sourced from krill. The omega-3 content from krill oil has been shown to support healthy blood pressure, circulation, brain health, as well as reduce inflammation, swelling, and joint pain. In fact, it can outperform ibuprofen, Tylenol, Advil, and it doesn't have the dangerous side effects like I just mentioned either. Also, for a limited time, you can grab Native Path Antarctic krill oil for as low as $23 a bottle. Just go to stopmyinflammation.com/Klug and take advantage of this special offer for watching this video. I'll put links down in the description below. Let's get back to the video.
Anheuser-Busch, I'm guessing, has lost you as a customer. I mean, they already lost you. You don't drink anyway.
Right.
How could they get you back?
It's not possible.
What would it take for Anheuser-Busch to win you back?
I'd say nothing.
How could Bud Light win you back?
Never. They couldn't do it.
Like, even if my future husband, like, wants to crack open a beer on a Saturday night with his boys, Bud Light still is off the table.
I don't think there is a way that Bud Light can come back. I really don't think there is. And I don't feel sorry for him.
There's no way this kid can drink. He's acting super professional, though. Jeez. Like 16 years old on the outside, but 45, maybe 55 on the inside.
What would it take to get you to drink Bud Light?
Meeting Donald Trump.
45th and 47th.
Would you drink a Bud Light if Trump gave you one?
Honestly, probably.
They back Trump. They'll get everyone back.
If that man were to offer me one, I'd probably still decline.
That's good. That's a good man right there. He's principled. This is a principled young man.
Still decline?
Yeah, now if
Even
Jesus himself offered me one, I'd take it.
How do you think they win people back? How do you think Bud Light turns it around?
I think they turned it around by actually giving an apology.
I think you formally apologize.
Number one, say they were wrong to partner with Dylan, what's his name?
If they did this in the beginning and said, you know what, we made a mistake. We understand that this person is not a woman. They wouldn't even have to go that far. Just say, you know what, we apologize for making a mockery of you women.
Yeah, so they didn't even apologize. I mean, they didn't even, they released some statement. It was just a bunch of words from the CEO. It wasn't really saying anything. They didn't officially apologize. So one step right there, right? How can they recover? Would be, okay, first of all, just an apology. And then if you want to go to the next level, maybe just tweet out something saying there's two genders. Something like that. That would make you the top selling beer in the United States over the weekend. It might be too late now. They might not be able to recover. It's just not genuine anymore. However, with time, they'll obviously recover. I know. I'm already seeing comments. Okay, next year, everyone will forget about this. Probably true, because there's probably going to be another corporation that's going to sabotage themselves. But they're still losing billions of dollars in market value. That's still something. Speaking of losing billions of dollars, they're actually, I don't know if you guys saw this, and this is not the newest news. This is from July 27th, but I wanted to pull this up just because of what Public Square ended up doing. Public Square is a company that helps you find non-woke people, non-woke companies to work with in your area. I believe this video is not sponsored by them, but I did really respect this. This is the CEO tweeting out saying, Bud Light parent company Anheuser-Busch announced yesterday that they are laying off 350 employees. Losing a job is never easy, and it's unfortunate their company decided to prioritize woke ideology over doing what was best for the brand. Absolutely, totally spot on right there. He goes on to say, so we want to help. If any laid off Bud Light employee reaches out to Public Square or Red Balloon Work, we will help you find a new job in our network of non-woke businesses. Here is our open letter. Massive props to Public Square for doing this. I think this is fantastic. And obviously, I mean, like any decent person, you hate to see people lose their jobs that have nothing to do with these decisions, but this is the battle that we're in right now. I mean, conservatives, if they want to reclaim, American culture, you cannot give in to radical gender theory. You cannot give in to gender ideology. The overwhelming majority of the population disagrees with this, turning children into lifelong medical patients, under the age of 18, allowing them to do stuff like that. The overwhelming majority of the population disagrees with this. And so this is something to stand by and say, you know what? We will not support companies coming out and supporting this battle against reality. If you see an opportunity to make a company pay for adopting this woke ideology, you need to take it. That's exactly what happened with this case. So the first reason out of the two why this boycott was successful in my view, right? Because we've seen previous boycotts with Nike. How bad did that fail? They might have had sales dip for a day, a weekend, a month, maybe max, but ultimately all the publicity just created more sales and Nike was relatively untouched. Why is that? It's because conservatives are not the customers for Nike, right? You could see the same thing, a similar thing with, let's say another example would be Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Just not enough of a conservative base to really, really make an impact. Possibly, if they wanted to go really hard against Ben and Jerry's. Ben and Jerry's is openly communist. I don't know why any American supports them. Or if I'm wrong about them being communist, they're certainly openly socialist. But for Bud Light, it's different. Their base, their customer base is college frat guys. Their customer base is conservatives. So they're actually able to make an impact. And that's where this boycott was actually pretty genius, is they saw an opportunity. Again, it doesn't really matter that you boycott every single company associated with Anheuser-Busch. That would be a lot more complicated. It's, let's make this simple. You guys screwed up. We're going to make you pay. And conservatives were incredibly successful at doing this. I mean, this is months later, and we're talking about being at an event where you're still talking to people about would they drink a Bud Light? This is months later. And billions of dollars of lost revenue. Let's go ahead and move on.
You're the marketer of Bud Light. They're either going to force you to drink all the Bud Light they have in stock, or you got to sell it. How are you going to sell it?
Oof, that's a good question. I would put Donald Trump on the front of it and tell him, make Bud Light great again.
They make like a little Trump can.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
an
right.
idea,
You
right?
Lexi in the shot, that's her name. She's a really cool girl. That's a good idea, Lexi. I don't know. I mean, they might not have enough. It might be like a reverse Nike situation where a bunch of liberals get pissed off, but they're not really the customer base so much as conservatives. If they release a Trump can, I don't know. That might be a big month for sales.
drink that Bud Light, right?
Yeah, then I would.
What if I told you I drank 3 Bud Lights before this?
Makes sense.
3 Bud Lights before this, I don't believe you, Joel. But if that was the case, you are now Joel. Back to this. I want to ask this question to you guys. How would you market Bud Light if you were to do it, if you were in charge of it? Let's just say you were. Let me know down in the comment section below. I think, one, you have to have that apology. Say you screwed up, you're late, blah, blah, blah. Release a tweet, there are only 2 genders, and then release a themed beer along those lines. That's the only way that I can see. However, from their point of view right now, they've waited so long, they're just waiting it out. They're just waiting. They're saying, all right, we're going to take these losses. We're going to move on to next year. That's what they're going to do. But if they want to be epic, if they want to be pro-American, I don't know. Maybe do something like the Daily Wire does with the Hershey's bars. The he, hims, and the she, her bars. That was a good idea. Maybe something along those lines. I have no clue. Something like that. The apology would need to be epic enough to get conservatives back on board. And eventually, eventually they probably will. After a year, 2 years goes by, maybe some never go back. In a year, there's going to be another company that's going to screw up even bigger. All right, so this is the last bit right here, and we're going to talk about the second reason why the Bud Light boycott was so effective.
The left's way of virtue signaling. You know what I'm saying? I always say the left wearing a mask is like the right wearing the MAGA hat, right? We know what that means.
Yeah, the less virtue signaling is just pounding Bud Lights till they pass out.
That's exactly it. So if you pounding Bud Light at this point in time, we know exactly what side you
You're
want.
not drinking a Yingling to throw up on the ground. What are you doing?
Funny guys over at Man vs. Street. So this kind of goes to the point that MAGA Hulk right here was making. And that's that you have the virtue signaling, right? So you have the mask virtue signaling where it lets people know that you're a Democrat. You have the MAGA hat, lets people know you're a conservative. You have the Bud Light, and everybody thinks you're a liberal if you're drinking Bud Light. Now hear me out. When it comes to cultural pressure, there's going to be people on, let's say, the right that are going to be loud about it. There's going to be people on the left that are going to be loud about it. Depending on which side is louder, that's the side that the general population kind of just likes to satisfy. Let me give a quick example. When it came to the masks, I had a lot of friends that were pretty apolitical, not really politically involved, but when it came to going out or going to a restaurant or airports certainly, or any other places, they were more afraid of being screamed at by a psycho liberal than they were conservatives for wearing a mask. So they would err on the side of caution. This is what most just apolitical average people do. They err on the side of caution to not cause any conflict. Now, when it comes to Bud Light, Something similar is going on there when it comes to the cultural pressure. And this is really what takes the boycott to another level, is some of you guys watching this might say, okay, this is way over the top. These people are super against Bud Light. I just had a Bud Light the other week. Not me, maybe you. And if you did, shame on you. But you might be thinking this is just over the top, right? But it's because of people that are this passionate about the issue, going out there and speaking their minds of why you shouldn't be drinking Bud Light. The general population doesn't really want to have any conflict. So when it comes to a college party, what is the college frat guy gonna do? They don't want to get teased for it. They can easily just say, I'm gonna pick this beer and there's gonna be no controversy at all. I'm not gonna get made fun of at the party I'm going to or anything like that. And that is the second reason why the Bud Light boycott has been so incredibly effective, because the right has been fantastic at making it a cultural issue when it comes to actually being outspoken enough to say, oof, you're drinking a Bud Light? That's straight up commie juice right there. Friends do not let friends drink Bud Light, and certainly don't let them drink Bud Light in public where they can get made fun of. Anyways, you guys, those are the two things right there. The conservative customer base that Bud Light just stabbed in the back, and then also the apolitical population that's going to err on the side of caution when they're purchasing a beer. Let me know what you guys thought about this video down in the comment section below. As always, I'll put a link to the full video down in the description below. Go subscribe over at Man vs. Street. Show them your support. If you guys enjoyed my commentary, let me know by hitting that like button. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and also hit that bell notification button so you're notified next time I post. Catch you guys in the next video.